Which will start with more on last night's investigation into alleged fraud in our public transport industry. Yesterday, when we revealed that Bus Contractor Link SA had claimed reimbursements for student passengers they didn't carry, Transport Minister Pat Conlon's office assured us the payments were in lieu of subsidised fares. Today, the Minister himself had a very different story. The students received nothing, but Link SA was still paid for ensuring the service. So what entitled them to taxpayers' money? Well, in a story with more twists and turns and an Adelaide Hills bus route, here's Lucy Polkinghorn.
We found invoices that ATE was sending to the government to claim student reimbursements for the students that we were carrying. So to me that seems very clear that that's what was going on.
I'm very concerned indeed that public funds aren't being used in the appropriate manner.
Our interest has been achieved by getting the people carried, and there's no dispute that the people were carried.
Last night, we revealed how interstate bus giant ATE, operating as Link SA, claimed student concessions for passengers that weren't theirs.
We have cited evidence to show that this may have been going on for 5 years, and it may have been going on in more areas than just my area, so there could be a lot of money involved.
Dean McGuinty from Lofty Coaches says he transported the students for St Francis de Sales College in his own bus, and the students received no subsidy.
We were sending the school an invoice for carrying these students. We also find that the same month, the same students, there was an invoice going to the government to carry the same students. And so it appeared very much though as Transit Plus or ATE was charging the government for carrying those students also, and of course they can only be on one bus, so and we know it was ours, so that just seemed to me to be just illegal.
He raised the issue with the department, Minister Pat Conlon and the Education Minister Jay Weatherall, but was effectively fobbed off.
There was certainly questions raised by Stephen Griffiths to Pat Conlon about this issue. Pat Conlon informed us that he was not aware of this. He would look into it.
What do you make of the most recent letter from the Minister for Transport, Pat Conlon?
Their response, which came back to us in early April this year, was that they had checked it out and there was no reason to be concerned.
But these Freedom of Information documents obtained by Shadow Transport Minister Stephen Griffiths confirm Link SA claimed the reimbursement. What's missing is any evidence of what Link SA did to justify being paid.
If there's evidence that supports the fact that their dollars are going and being spent in inappropriate ways or being spent on services that aren't actually provided, then that's when South Australians need to be worried.
What occurred in this time is the head contractor subcontracted that school service.
We alerted the Minister Pat Conlon on Friday to our story, and what he told us today is large companies like ATE can be paid by taxpayers for doing absolutely nothing.
The truth is the payment of these concessions is entirely appropriate to the head contractor.
The Minister claims the money is an incentive for Link SA to ensure a service in their area.
We do that to make sure that there is a service in a region that's very hard to get services, because if we didn't, there wouldn't be any service to anyone. So as far as we're concerned, when we get the service, that is the reason we're paying the concessions.
But Lofty Coaches were already supplying the service through a private contract, so no incentive was required.
We were performing a school bus run for a school here in Mount Barker, and with that run was a contract between ourselves and the school. That run was being 100% paid for by the school.
And the school today sent us this email confirming their students received no benefit from any money paid out by the government.
St Francis de Sales College does not and has not ever received any subsidy from any transportation company relating to the provision of any transport services for students at the college.
And when Dean stopped handing his passenger details to Link SA, they stopped claiming, but Dean's school runs continued.
The service was going to be operated and has been operated whether the subsidy was paid or not. So to me that's just a pure waste of subsidy.
If these are the rules, there are no rules. How can a department and a minister justify spending our money this way?
The school is outraged at these claims that there is possible funds that they can use and then not available to the school.
In the meantime, ATE has used its favoured government status to drive scores of local operators out of business. Bus and Coach Association head Roger Quincy is devastated.
I'm very aware of other private operators around me, their concern, their personal feelings, their families' feelings, and they've done their best. They've worked very hard to provide a regular service. Some of those people, up to 55 years, have provided the service to the government, and all of a sudden they've been told, for no real reason, that their service is now not required.
And a final footnote to this sorry saga, ATE's biggest shareholder is selling out. And Minister Pat Conlon announced this afternoon he too was hanging up his boots before the next election. So, does anyone care?
The whole system needs to be thrown open. We need to look at it again and totally revamp this system, as it is just completely out of balance at the moment towards the government system.